and welcome to today's video. So today's video was extremely requested. It's been requested for a while now and I just haven't gotten around to doing it. I took this class last fall and I really thought that I took it last spring, but I went back and I looked in my online portal and I looked at like when I submitted work and stuff, and I definitely submitted things last fall. So I guess I should have filmed this video like 6 months ago. Sorry, I didn't realize that people wanted to see it this bad until just this past week. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. I'll put my name up here. But I posted like a little questions thing. Well, I did that when I wanted to see how to study for fundamentals, all about fundamentals, and I was like, what? This was a hard class and I took it a while ago. I wasn't expecting you guys to want to know about it because I definitely asked about it back then and it was like, nah, whatever. But now all of a sudden people want to know about fundamentals. So I'm just going to first go over a couple things about fundamentals. If you don't know what fundamentals is, my school called it foundations of nursing. A lot of schools call it fundamentals of nursing. It's all the same thing. It's basically the basic structure of nursing. What are the most important things? How do you act as a nurse? Literally, what's the foundation? Foundations. What is the foundation that makes up nursing? That's what you need to know. So you're going to learn about head to toe assessments. You're going to learn to know about different organ systems in the body and the way they work. You're going to learn about critical thinking and thinking on your feet and G tubes and trachs and ostomy bags and all these basic things that nurses interact with on a daily basis. It's not very specialized, it's really just general. The clinical portion for this class for me consisted of, I want to say 8 shifts with a couple different simulations just on a med surg floor. A lot of adults, you see a lot of different things, which is kind of what this class has to do with because it has to cover a lot of different things. This class isn't really as specialized, it kind of just covers like general things within nursing. So I'm going to go over what each of my exams are. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my computer to look back in my course as to what we covered because I don't fully remember. So exam 1 was over the nursing assessment, a head to toe assessment, which is a nursing assessment. Intro to pharmacology, so just basic information about drugs and how to do dosage calculations. If you don't know what dosage calculations are, you will learn and you will do them all of nursing school. My school requires that we take a dosage calc exam before the start of every school year to confirm, actually it might be even every semester, to confirm that you know how to do dosage calc. It's incredibly important and you have to get 100% on the exam to continue on in nursing school because this determines that you know how to give meds properly, which is important. Then the second exam was neurology, which is the brain, the eyes and ears, the cardiovascular system, which is heart, and respiratory, which is lungs. Exam 3 was on gastrointestinal, which is like GI, the abdomen, that whole area. Integumentary, which is skin. Genitourinary, which is the genitals and the urinary system. Then the last exam, exam 4, well, the last exam before the final, and it was over musculoskeletal, so the whole muscle skeleton portion of the body, which is like the whole body. Endocrine, which is all your hormones, and hematology and immunology, which is the immune system and blood. I can give you some examples. So eyes and ears, how do you do an eyes and ears exam? Neuro, what are things that you're looking for when you're doing a neuro exam? What are the kind of questions you ask when you're assessing the eyes and looking for PERLA, which is checking for the pupil size? What do those things mean in relation to the brain? There's a lot that you learn in this class. Cardiovascular, you know, what are certain types of heart sounds, swooshes like bruits and murmurs and things like that you're listening for. Where do you listen on the chest? Where do you take pulses? Where do you check the apical pulse? What are you looking for? What are you looking for when you're examining the chest with the skin, with the jugular vein? There's a lot that you need to know. Respiratory, where do you listen on the body for the lungs? What sounds are you listening for? What sounds are what? What is a crackle? What is bronchi? What is wheezes, inspiratory wheezes, expiratory wheezes? There's a lot of just assessment things that you're going to be learning, which you'll also be learning in health assessment. So these two classes kind of mix a lot, at least the content did in my opinion for my classes. Gastrointestinal, so how do you listen to the abdomen? Where are you listening to? If a person comes in with pain in this quadrant of their abdomen, what could that mean? That's a lot of what this class is, and I think it correlated really well with health assessment because a lot of those things you're learning at the same time, which is good. At least my professors attempted to line up foundations and health assessment to where whatever we were learning in foundations, we were also learning at the same time in health assessment. So you learned how to examine the body and you learned, you know, what you're going to do with that. Foundations had a lot to do with prioritizing. So a patient comes in with X, Y, and Z symptom. What do you need to do first? What is most important? What is going to be your next step? What's going to be the nurse's first step? things like that. And it was a hard class, and honestly, I studied for this class differently than I've studied for any other class. This class, I'll insert a picture of the textbook here, that we used. Our textbook came with an online access code, and that access code gave us access to practice questions for every chapter of this textbook, which was super helpful. If you have access to practice questions, do all of them. Do as many as you possibly can without going insane. Literally do as many as you can. That's the only way I can recommend studying for this class. It's a hard class. It's a lot of content. You can read all you want. You can take notes all you want. You can write flashcards all you want. But you have to learn how to answer nursing questions and what they're looking for. And the more you do that and the more you do practice questions, the better off you will be. I promise. I definitely think reading the textbook is important and helpful, but I think at the end of the day, the most important thing you can do is practice questions. Fundamentals is a hard class. I think it was the hardest class that me and my classmates have taken. Looking back at my exam grades, on the first exam, I got an 88. On the second exam, I got an 82. On the third exam, I got an 86. The fourth exam was my worst grade. The fourth exam, I got a 78. Which is not passing. In my school, passing is an 80%, and I missed it by one question, which sucked. The average for that exam was barely passing, so it was a very hard exam, and sometimes you just get those. My final exam, I got an 87, which I was fine with, and I did pass the class with a B. But the class was hard. It's a lot of content. You're new to nursing school when you take it. It's intense. It's hard, but give it your all. Do as many practice questions as you can, and also remind yourself that it's okay not to be okay. If you don't do well on an exam, it's not going to kill you. It's okay. There are opportunities to bring your grade back up. There are opportunities to retake classes if you have to. There are opportunities to do extra credit sometimes. Sometimes teachers will drop exams for the whole class. They'll say, whatever your worst exam is, we're not going to count it. That doesn't always happen, but some teachers do that. Just know that it's okay, and you're human. And we're all not perfect. It's not possible. If anyone's telling you that nursing school is easy or that they're the perfect nursing student, they're lying. God didn't create us that way. We're not all perfect. It's not possible, and it's okay. So remember, at the end of the day, do practice questions for this test, for this class if you can. It's my biggest tip to you. And if you don't have access through your textbook like I did, go online. Quizlet has amazing resources for practice questions. Do those practice questions. Google Fundamentals of Nursing practice questions. There are resources, I promise. I'll try and link some down below if I can. But yeah, I hope this video helped you guys. At the end of the day, just remember that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to pass every exam. And you can do this. I have so much faith in you. I hope this video helped, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.